Hi everyone, today we are going to be reading Act 5, Scenes 1 and 2 of Romeo and Juliet. So Act 5 is actually the last act of the play, so we're at the very end. Before I read, let's review what happened in Act 4. So in Act 4, Juliet is being forced to marry Paris, but she goes to Friar Lawrence and he comes up with a plan to get her out of this wedding. Part 1 of the plan is for Juliet to go home and agree to marry Paris and pretend like she's happy about it. Then she will drink a potion that will make her appear dead for 42 hours. And when her family lays her to rest in the tomb, Friar Lawrence will write a letter to Romeo telling him about the plan so that he can come back to Verona and be at the tomb when Juliet wakes up. So then everybody will think that Juliet is dead, and Juliet will actually wake up, and then her and Romeo can run away together and live happily ever after. Part of that plan gets messed up when Juliet's father moves the wedding up one day, so she has to take the potion one day earlier. And at the end of Act 4, the nurse came in and discovered Juliet's dead body, and Friar Lawrence tells the family she's in a better place. Let's give her a proper funeral today. So that's where we left off. So Act 5, Scene 1 actually takes place where Romeo is. Romeo is in another town called Mantua. So Romeo says, "If I can trust my dreams, they say joyful news is coming. My heart is light. All day a happy spirit lifts me above the ground. It was a strange dream. My lady came and found me dead. She kissed the life back into me. I was king. Ah, how sweet is love when its dreams are so rich." So here's just another example of how Shakespeare uses dreams as examples of foreshadowing, like visions of things that will happen. So here comes Romeo's personal servant. His name is Balthazar. So Romeo says, "Ah, news from Verona. Hello, Balthazar. Do you have a letter from the friar? Is my father well? How is my Juliet? Nothing can be ill if she is well." Balthazar, "Then she is well and nothing is ill. Her body sleeps and her soul is with the angels. I saw her laid in the tomb and came here to tell you." Romeo, "Is this true? Then I defy you, stars. Hire a horse and I will leave here tonight." Balthazar, "Please, sir, have patience. You look pale and wild. Do not leave like this. It could be dangerous." Romeo, "No, you are wrong. Do what I asked you to do." "You don't have a letter for me from the friar?" Balthazar, "No, sir." Romeo, "It doesn't matter. Go and get the horses." So remember that the only two people who know about Juliet's fake death are Friar Lawrence and Juliet. Now, there was supposed to be a letter to Romeo telling him about this plan, but Balthazar gets there first and tells Romeo, "Hey, I saw Juliet. She's dead and they gave her a funeral." And so now Romeo really thinks that Juliet is actually dead. So he's planning on getting a horse and going back to Verona tonight. So when Balthazar leaves, Romeo is kind of talking to himself here. He says, "Juliet, I will lie beside you tonight. How shall I do it? Ah, I do remember a druggist who lives around here. He had tattered clothes and looked like a starving beggar. His shop was a mess and run down. I remember thinking that if anyone sold poison in Mantua, it would be that wretched man. How was I to know I would need it? Here is the building. Hello, druggist?" So when Romeo says that he will lie beside Juliet tonight, he's talking about killing himself next to Juliet so that they could be together in heaven. So he's going to visit a druggist, which is kind of like a pharmacist, to get some poison. So the druggist enters. Druggist, "Who is yelling?" Romeo, "Come here. I see that you are hungry and poor. Here's 40 gold coins. Sell me a bottle of poison. Something that will cause the breath of life to leave the body as fast as gunpowder fires a cannon." Druggist, "I have such deadly drugs, But Mantua's law means death for anyone who sells or talks about them. Romeo, are you afraid to die? You look dead already. The world is not your friend, nor are its laws. There is no law that can make you rich, so don't be poor. Break the law and take the money. Druggist, if I weren't poor, I would not do this. I do this against my will. He gives Romeo the poison. So Romeo kind of bribes the druggist and makes him feel sad and guilty because he's so poor. So he really tells the druggist that if he wants to not be poor anymore, he better sell him the poison, even though it's illegal to sell poison in Mantua. But the druggist does end up giving Romeo the poison. So Romeo says, I'm paying your poverty, not your will. Druggist, pour this in any liquid and drink it. Even if you have the strength of 20 men, it will kill you. Romeo, here is your gold. Money murders more than all the poisons you could sell. Farewell. Buy food and make yourself well. This is wine, not poison. Now I take you to Juliet's grave. There I drink this magic dew. So at the end of scene 1, Romeo is planning on riding back to Verona and drinking the poison next to Juliet's dead body in her tomb. Scene 2 flips back to Verona, where Friar Lawrence is having a conversation with another priest named Friar John. So stop your video here and fill in the blanks for scene 1. Okay, so now we know that Romeo did not ever receive a letter from Friar Lawrence, and he really thinks that Juliet is dead. So let's find out what happened to that letter. Friar John, hello, Brother Lawrence? Friar Lawrence, that sounds like Friar John. Welcome back from Mantua. What did Romeo say? Do you have a letter from him? Friar John, no. Before I left, I went to find another brother to come with me. I found him in a house visiting the sick. The health inspectors thought that the house was infected by the plague, so they locked us in and would not let us leave. I was not able to get to Mantua. So on his way to give Romeo the letter, Friar John was quarantined because of the Black Plague. So he was not able to deliver the letter to Romeo. So Friar Lawrence says, well, who took my letter to Romeo? Friar John, I still have it here. I couldn't find a messenger to bring it. They were all afraid of the plague. Friar Lawrence, oh no, that letter was of great importance. By not sending it, we may cause much danger. Friar John, go and get me a crowbar. Friar John, brother, I will go and bring it to you. So Friar John leaves to get Friar Lawrence a crowbar, which we can infer he's going to use to do this. Friar Lawrence, now I must go to the tomb alone. In 3 hours, Juliet will wake. She will be angry that Romeo was not told of our plan. But I will write to Mantua again, and I will hide her until Romeo comes. Poor living girl closed in a dead man's tomb. So we can infer that this crowbar is going to be used to break into the tomb because Friar Lawrence now is going to have to go wake up Juliet. And he says that he will hide her until Romeo can get back to Verona. So he's going to try to write Romeo another letter to tell him about the new plan, but we know that Romeo is already on his way, thinking that Juliet is really dead. So we're going to stop here for today. Make sure you fill in the blanks for scenes 1 and 2.